Alright, guys, and we should be live. How is everybody doing today on this beautiful Tuesday, April 21st? I'm going to check my audio real quick because I'm trying to see if I can increase our stream volume here. So I need to double check that. Give me 1 second to mess with audio. Alright, let me mess with it a little bit more. Okay, so up that a little. And then I think I'll leave this one here. Yeah. Alright, let's see how this sounds. And again, guys, sorry about this little bit of static noise in the background. I will eventually get that sorted out. I think it's just because of my connection. Okay. But anyways, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Unless it's your first time here, in which case, welcome in, welcome in. Today we're doing Taco Bell Tuesday stream. That's where I go to Taco Bell, I grab some food, and then I eat it, and we usually talk about One Piece. I'm down to talk about anything really, but One Piece is like my main channel thing outside of like streaming Terraria when I get the chances. But yeah, so today we're just going to be going over, I kind of liked the style of last week, and on top of that, I'm trying to do a D&D campaign session tonight. So because of that, I need a little bit of time to just hone down like the last details for that, so I won't be able to get into another gameplay thing and build a deck. So today I'm just going to be doing kind of like last week's style where we look at the meta and then some prices. So from Taco Bell, we got a cup of sour cream. I think it's just a regular taco. Yeah, regular taco. The goat. The goat. And then... Oh, hey, Katniss. I made a cat bed for our cat because she likes checking out what I'm doing. And then I got the this Cantina Chicken Rolled Quesadilla. Not sponsored, by the way, but I would love to be sponsored by Taco Bell. But yeah, so I've been cutting back, so not as much food. 1 second. There she goes. But yeah, guys, real quick before we get into the sort of stuff that I had lined up for the stream today, I just wanted to say I hope you're having a great April so far. I just had my birthday like 4 days ago. Turned 24, so I'm officially an unk now. But I just have to get the mandatories out the way. If you are new to the channel, please consider hitting subscribe because it helps me out a ton. But more importantly, hitting that notification bell because when you do that, you can see any time that I go live or I put up new videos and such. I actually just had a new one go up yesterday, so feel free to check that one out. It is a One Piece video. But yeah, if you hit the notification bell, again, also free, and it lets you know whenever something goes up for the channel. But yeah, you can hit a like on this stream or any of my videos if you want. You can hit the curvy arrow button to share it with your friends so they can check it out as well. And then feel free to chat right now while we're live or leave a comment in the comment section down below on the most recent video. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into what I have lined up for today. So, if we just switch over here, I'm on Cardi Kaizoku. Shoutouts to Card Kaizoku. It's got a really good site here. You do have to pay for it, but it's pretty good. That Baja Blast Zero will be hitting. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to look at the top meta for this last week because it has been a week since our last Taco Bell Tuesday stream. So let's go to leader rankings. Standard last week for private games. And surprise, surprise, Blue Yellow Nami is still the GOAT. She's still my GOAT as well. Love this deck. Looks like more and more people are starting to hop onto this deck here. Weighted win rate of 54.49. That's insane with the raw win rate of 55.8. 12.47 play rate. So definitely the second most played deck after NL. NL up here only with a 50.58 weighted win rate. Weighted win rate and a 51.34% raw. Ace is obviously second, right? In my opinion, having a good matchup into Nami, as well as just being a super solid deck. I was calling this before OP15 came out and rotation happened that Ace would probably be one of, if not the best decks. And it looks like outside of Nami and NL, Ace is going to be actually even above NL. Ace is just going to be your best deck. I mean, look at that win rate, guys. 54.19. That is insane. And only a play rate of 6.16%, so you're not going to hit that many mirror matches. Pretty interesting stuff here. Yeah, with only 30,000 consecutive players, Lucy beating out Monkey D. Luffy from Sky Island for 5th place, right, is going to be 49.7 weighted win rate with a raw of 51. Starting to drop off in play rate as well, it looks like. And then we have Sky Luffy at 5th here, and then we'll just go down to the next 5. I won't read off their win rates. You can go ahead and take a look at those. But we have Red Green Luffy, followed by Mihawk, followed by Crocodile, jumping up 3 spots here into 8th place. That's pretty cool. Beating out Green Purple Luffy at 9th, and then NL at 10th. And then if we look down at the next 10 here, we got Gecko Moria, Jewelry Bonnie falling down a bit. Roger up 5 spots. Interesting. We'll definitely take a look at that. We got Do Flamingo at 14th, starting to drop down. Teach up 5 spots to 15th. And then Kobe, Bonnie, Emu is now at 18th, Green Zoro at 19th, and Jinbei at 20th. And if I look down here for my boy Red Black Sabo, he is now at 25th, right above Creek. Okay, cool. So those are kind of your top meta decks right now as we're looking at them here. Just kind of seeing if... Wait, where's Red Yellow Sabo? Is he not even as good as these two? Where's my boy? He's 50th. I mean, nobody's playing him. Yeah, you can tell just based off this win rate here that nobody is playing Red Yellow Sabo in ranked. Interesting to me because I think that deck is actually pretty good. But anyways, let's go ahead and check some stuff out here. Now, we pretty much already know the deck list for these 3 decks. The only one that like changes for the most part is Nami. We'll go ahead and take a look at that. And then I'll look at NL too because there's a specific list I want to see if they're tracking on here. So looking at Nami, right, weighted win rate of 54.5 pretty much, and raw 55.8. Going first, you're going to win almost 58% of your games, which is crazy. And second, you're going to win almost 54. That is just, dude, this deck is so good. You're just demolishing NL with a 6-7% rate. In the mirror match, it's, I mean, dead even, right? Lucy, you are getting absolutely clapped by, as well as Ace. So, right, red-blue is a good counter to red-yellow. Or, excuse me, blue-yellow. You beat Sky Luffy really well. Red-green is kind of a die roll, but you're generally losing. Mihawk, you're also losing. You actually beat Crocodile, which I guess makes sense because they can't really kill your Robins, right? And then green-purple, you're also beating. You're losing to Teach, beating Moria, losing to Bonnie, beating NL, beating the other Bonnie. Okay, so looks pretty normal. Checking out the deck lists here. Everybody's still just on the Thriller Bark. One thing that I'm interested to see is why nobody... Oh my goodness, excuse me. One thing that is kind of interesting to see is, yeah, here's one right here. Nobody is on, like, the Rush Luffy. This card is insane, guys. Like, into Lucy, dude, if you just run 2 or 3 of these Luffys to where you can find it every game, like, do you not just kind of win? I mean, I'm sure they can bottom deck it, but this thing has Rush, so if you play it at the right time, you can actually just push for game in a turn. But whatever. Anyways, you can see nobody's playing Marco anymore, or like a lot of these cheaper blockers except Borsellino, right? Like you're not seeing Hiyori either because unless you're getting like immediate value out of those smaller bodies, there's not really a reason to run them because NL can just rest them. So as you can see, like this blocker heals you 1. This blocker gives you unblockable. This guy lets you heal as well. So yeah, just a lot of instant play value. And then let's go ahead and take a look at our boy Eneru. Yep, going first, you're going to win 57 games out of 100. And going second, you're going to win 44.5. Looks like, yeah, the mirror match obviously is super weighted. You're just die to Nami. Demolish Lucy. Ace is pretty close. If you go first, actually, you have a decent chance of beating him, which is funny because that means giving him his curve. And then going second, you're going to lose a little bit more often, which, I mean, this is pretty much even. Sky Luffy, you just die to, right? Green, red Luffy, you win 60% of your games if you go first, but if you don't, you're probably going to lose. It gives you about an even matchup overall, right? So just win the die roll, you know? You kill Mihawk. Looks like you do, in fact, lose to Crocodile, which is pretty cool for me. And then you are demolishing Green, Purple, Luffy, and Teach at 67% each. You lose to Moria, right? Makes sense because he can heal and stuff. Bonnie, you win. NL, you lose. The other NL. And then Bonnie, you win. Okay, cool. And then I want to see if they have the deck list. I want to see if they have the deck list. Oh, he's not popping up here. Okay. I don't see it. All right, well, there's something that I'm going to show you guys with NL once we get done with our market check, but I just thought that was really interesting. All right, going back down the list here. Any other... Okay, yeah, Roger. I want to see what's going on here with our boy Goldie. I want to take a look at what teaches are running. And let's take a look at NL. Yellow NL, the boy. The rest of these are pretty cut and dry, I feel like. Maybe a red-green Luffy just in case. All right, let's take a look at some of these. Actually, before I do that, though, let's eat some of this taco. Man, dude. Just something about fresh taco seasoned beef that just hits. Not even talk about propaganda, just taco propaganda. All right. And then I have the avocado green salsa, whatever. Yeah, avocado verde salsa. Because I got a cantina chicken thing, so I can put that on here too. Ooh. Oh, yeah. There we go. I'm getting it all over my hands. That's awesome. Okay. Oh no, my taco exploded. Oh yeah. That's crazy. The salsa verde is like a lot better than I remember. All right. Goldie Roger. This one's interesting. So, weighted win rate of about 44 with the raw of a little over 50. Only 1.6% of players in this past week playing it, right? So only 7,800 games. Going first, you're going to win 49 flat, and going second, 51.3. So you're a little bit more favored going second, but you can kind of do either. Yeah, NL, you just kind of like die. You do beat Nami pretty well, though. Turns out when you're a 7K leader and they're a 7K leader and all your bodies are big and not all of hers are, it just kind of works, right? You die to Lucy. Into Ace, you're pretty even, right? Because you run the red Roger and it is searchable. So there is that. Pretty funny. You generally want to take their curve, though. Sky Luffy, you're beating a lot of them, which is nice because their bodies are a little bit smaller, right? Red Green Luffy, you also beat because your bodies are huge. Mihawk, you lose to because they could probably freeze pretty much all your stuff, thanks to Law and Beppo. Crocodile, you are losing to as well. Not as bad as Mihawk, but still pretty bad. Because they can go wide with All Sunday and stuff like that, right? And freeze your board with stuff like the 8-cost Secret Croc. Green Purple Luffy, you are winning a lot of those games, right? Because they just cannot keep up with your leader size. You're losing to Teach because you have no on-plays. And, I mean, yeah, it's Teach, right? Like, you're just getting controlled out the game because you only play about one body per turn. Moria, you're also losing to. They're probably just too aggressive. Bonnie, you win. It's pretty even, actually, whether you go first or second. Yellow NL, you're losing in general. If you go first, you get absolutely creamed. If you go second, you have a chance. And then green Bonnie, you're like, whatever. I'm interested to see some deck lists for this guy. Why has he gone up 5 spots? Maybe people just realize that Gold Roger crazy. Okay, so we have 4 Bond Clay. Makes sense here. Let's go ahead and open this up. All right, so for 2Ks, we're dropping the like unblockable Sanji or anything else like that. We're going 4 Ace, Sabo, and Luffy for some board control. Very interesting here. So Yeah, Ace, Sabo, and Luffy, and then we have our 4 Shank Searchers, obviously our 4 Buggies, because Buggy lets you ramp as well. 4 3 costs, there we go, Douglas Bullet. We have 2 Usohachi 2Ks, right? So letting us rest down 5 cost characters, probably blockers, our 4 ball plays we talked about, 4 Scopper Gabans, I think that's how you say it. Excuse me. 3 Uta 2Ks, and then we have 4 Zoros, only 1 Rayleigh, 4 Rogers, 4 Shankses, 2 of the other unblockable Rogers. We have 2 Divine Departures and 4 of the, guess we'll have another scrap. You can only risk death while you're still alive. Okay, so just to go over real quick, look at how many 2Ks we're running, guys. 4, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 2Ks, which makes sense because you want to play, you know, about 1 buggy a game to help you ramp, probably. And then, other than that, this looks very safe. One thing to note here is we went all the way down to 1 Rayleigh, which just shows you that, honestly, we don't even need to, like, get that last ramp up to 10 a lot of times because of the ability to double ramp with cards like this and Buggy, or this and this, or this and this even. And then we have Scopper Gaban. We have a lot of characters that are big, so we can use these Utas here for 2. 2 Divine Departures to help us clear board, and also more than likely just to help us filter these bricks out, because we are running a lot of bricks, right? We have 4 here. I still count these as bricks. 4, 5, 6, 10, 14, 15. Yeah, 19 bricks. We definitely need a couple filterers. But even if we don't have the Rayleigh, to get back to what I was saying, even if we don't have the Rayleigh to ramp us up to 10, you just play the Zoro, and that gives you another plus 2,000 power. So you become a 7,000 power leader anyways. Pretty good. And then late game, obviously, he is going to be giving you the extra 2K on top of your 7K leader, so you'll be a 9K leader, right? Which, red, yellow, Bonnie, that's the whole point of that deck. So this deck will get there about as fast as Bonnie, if I had to guess. But yeah, just really interesting to see my boy Roger actually, like, coming back up in the meta here. So, yeah, I mean, 13th is no joke. Five spots is a lot. Looks like more people are trying him out, though. One thing I did notice is I did not see in his build, let me go back here real quick. I didn't see a build that was running the 10 cost secret from 13. So, okay, here's the new Shanks promo. This card's crazy. I don't know if you guys read it. I'll go ahead and hover over. Yeah, so on play or when attacking, your opponent just can't block for the turn. Dude. It's kind of like the Secret Roger, but instead of swinging in the same turn, you're just like, yeah, so you're just not blocking for the rest of the game. All you have to do is swing with this guy first, which, whoop-de-doo, right? That card's insane. But to get back to what I was saying, I did not see any of them running the SR from OP13. So there's like this pure version of the deck you can run, where you play like only the OP13 purple SR Roger, and you don't run like the Shanks or anything, or the Zoro, and you just run like a full Roger package. Another thing to note here is this little guy here, Inuarashi. Let me find a deck list that has him so we can take a look. I'm surprised. Oh, here's one Roger. Okay. I'm surprised more people aren't running it, because it lets you ramp, and then it also KOs a 1 cost or less character. So, pretty strong card there. Alright, and then moving on, I'll just take a look at the rest of these guys really, really quick. So, we have Marshall D. Teach here, my boy Blackbeard, all the way back from OP09 making an appearance. He's kind of getting smacked around, though. 44% chance to win if you go first, and then if you get your curve, it goes up to 48, so still not that great. A lot of people playing him, though. Really trying out. Yeah, NL, you disintegrate. You can beat Blue, Yellow, Nami pretty consistently, as well as Lucy, and then Ace is slightly winning. But, I mean, obviously, you take their curve, you're probably going to do fine. Yeah, you can negate their on-plays and stuff. I actually played an Ace with my Teach the other day in playtesting, and we did beat him. It was a really close game, a lot of fun. Sky Luffy, yeah, you can't remove their body. It's crazy. You just die. I guess you can late game if you manage to get a blocker Teach out, but you already have to have a board established. It's just, yeah, not looking great there, because they can kill your Doc Qs and stuff. As well as Lafitte's. They don't even have to attack their like Lafitte's later in game. They can just play the wiper down. Red-green, you're beating. Makes sense. Mihawk, you die. Unless you go first. If you take their curve, you have a chance. You just demolish Croc because he can't do anything. Green-purple, you die too. Tails Zol's time. Good. Dude, the matchups for Teach are so polarizing. 50-50 to the mirror. You want to go second, though. Moria, you win. Bonnie, you destroy. Yeah, I mean, if they can't be a 9K leader, they lose their little sparkle there. You kind of lose to yellow NL, and then green Bonnie. How are we losing to Bonnie? Wasn't the whole point of this deck to farm Bonnie? Bruh. Alright, well, is what it is. I don't think anybody's doing anything crazy with the lists either, yeah. This looks pretty nice. Katarina, like to see it. Looks pretty safe. Only 3 of the blocker beards. I would probably run 4 personally. Dude, this card right here, okay. A lot of people have been running this here 6-drop. Dude, I hate this card. I'm sure it's great, and I'm sure if I just actually, like, made a point to play it every game, it would be good. I can't stand this Kuzan. Bro, it's a 6k power body for 6. Like, you spend your whole 6 Dawn turn, which is a pivotal turn, in my opinion, for, you know, Blackbeard, because you could go something like 5-drop Kuzan plus an event, or you could do, like, Burgess plus an event plus, like, a state. You know, there's, like, a lot of things you can do. But to spend your whole 6 Dawn turn going, okay, I'm going to play a 6k body, then, and I was like, cool. Anyways, minus 1k with Ohm, and then rest it with Mamaragon and freeze it. And it's like, okay, now I can't get the value out of it because it's not going to die. It's stuck sideways, and I spent a whole turn making it, and the NL just got rid of it for free. Like, what are we doing? And it's not coming back the next turn either, so you have to wait a whole 2 turns to use this card. It's like, it just seems bad. Anyways, but yeah, that's what Teach is looking like. He went up 5 places, so that just shows you how bad the other decks are. If a deck that's losing, you know, if a deck that has like an average win rate of about 46 is just, you know, 15th, yeah, like, that just shows you how good the rest of these are. Emu's just getting demolished. Look at this, though. 51.40 win rate, and it's just the weighted win rate of it into the meta that makes it, like, 18th. Crazy. And there's still quite a few people on it. Almost as many as are on Teach. Interesting. Anyways, that just goes to show you how quick people were to leave that deck behind. A lot of fun. Welcome in if you're just showing up, by the way. I don't have a lot of time, so I can't do the sim stuff that we normally do. So I'm just kind of going over the meta real quick, looking at some prices of stuff we looked at last week to look at trends, see if we were right. And then I have one deck list I'm going to show after that is done, which will be pretty quick here. For something that's I thought was a little spicy and actually has a little bit of water. So here is the fake NL, as I like to call him now. Raw win rate of 50%, actually really good. It's just he's not that amazing into the meta. A lot of people playing him out, though. 2.11% win rate, or sorry, play rate. So if you go first, you're probably going to lose. If you go second, you have a pretty good chance of winning. You kill the new NL, right? The new kid on the block. You die to Nami, which makes sense because you're yellow, and both red-blue decks. Okay, so you just like... And Sky Luffy? So you're just here to beat up your fake twin. Okay. I see how it is. I respect the grind. Red-green Luffy, pretty even, but, I mean, yeah, go second or die. Mihawk, you're winning generally. Nice. You just die to Crocodile. Makes sense. Because you just freeze anything that's scary, right? Like their 10-drop secret. Oh no, you spent your whole turn not healing. Sounds good. Green-purple Luffy is beating you up. Unless you go second, you have a great... I guess this deck just has to go second. Cool. Teach, pretty even. Dude. What happened? Like, as a previous Teach main in OP09, what happened to Teach, boys? What are we doing? We're losing to Green Bonnie. We're even into N... Bro! This was like our bread and butter, was just clapping up the Bonnies and NLs. And look at this. I mean, I guess first, sure. I mean, I guess second because they take our curve. But, like, bro, this is bad. We have a losing... Whatever. I'm not going to spend too long on that. Moria, we're generally winning unless you go first. Bonnie is winning, but only if you go second. Mirror match, obviously, you want to go second. This deck just wants to go second. Is that because you curve out 10-drop? Is that what it is? Probably. And then Green Bonnie is even. Okay, cool. I just want to see what the deck lists look like for this guy. I feel like it's just good stuff, right? You just play good stuff. Flampe's good stuff. 4 Raigo's back. Oh, yeah, Raigo. It's pretty cool, I guess. Secret NL, 2 Nami, 4 Borsa. Luffy. Whoa, jump scare. 3 Kikus, 4 that one. Dareshi's interesting. Zeus. And then we got 1 Absalom. Okay, so Thriller slot. Sounds good. Why even play the Absalom? Like, that's another thing. Guys, unless you're running, like, actual Gecko Moria, I feel like you don't play Absalom. Like, I'm playing Red, Yellow, Sabo, Thriller Bark, and that deck wants to, like, trigger out everything, and I don't even run Absalom in that. Like, it's just, why would you run it? You can't KO it. Nobody's going to swing into it in their right mind. It's a brick. The only thing is it's a 3 cost. But, like, at that point, if you're playing, like, for instance, for Sabo, right, I just put in the Sanji or something, or just, like, put in any other 3-drop. Like, realistically, I think once 16 comes out, you just replace this with the new Burgess, which, let me look that up real quick for you guys, because that card's actually really sick. All right. And then I'll finish my taco. One Piece, OP16, Burgess. This card is, like, really cool, in my opinion. And I think in NL, it's, like, really decent. All right, here we go. A little bit of Reddit. Oh, yeah, so 3 cost 5k. It is a brick as well, guys, but look at this ability. On KO, add 1 card from the top of your opponent's life to their hand. So it's like a slightly worse Basil that comes out a whole turn earlier and doesn't have counter. And then its triggers trash a card from your hand, play this card. Seems pretty good. So I would definitely run that over this in a deck like NL, just because you're pretty much guaranteed to get the value out of that one, because you just, when it dies, it does something like Absalom, people will probably be willing to kill later game because they're not as worried about you searching 1 card. But I don't think you ever want to be hitting over that purchase because you don't want to lose the life, right? I mean, sure, you take it to hand, but still, that's like a whole life. And then, yeah, you go 4, 4, 4, 4, and then for the new Zoro seems good enough in NL. All right, cool, that's NL. I'm going to not look at yellow anymore. We got red, green, Luffy. So this is one of my personal pet decks. 51% raw win rate is really good, guys. And 48.3 into this meta, I'll take it. Going first, we're winning about 52% of our games. Going second, almost half. Almost. NL, we are slightly losing, which is interesting because I thought the whole point of playing green was to beat NL. But we're winning if we go first, right? Take their curve. Nami, we're generally winning, especially if we go first. We got Lucy here, pretty even. Ace, Ace, GG's. We got the Sky Luffy. That's not what I wanted to do. Go. We're winning Sky Luffy. Mirror is even, but you want to go second. Mihawk, you lose. You win a little bit more often if you go first. You also lose to Croc, right? They just freeze your secret rare. Seems pretty good. Green, purple, you're even. You want to go first. Take their curve. Teach, you just die to. Pretty even into Moria. Slightly winning if you go second. And then we got Bonnie, you just die. Yellow NL is pretty even. And then green Bonnie's also pretty even. Yellow NL, you definitely want to go second, though. So it's very die roll dependent. Yeah, I mean, this one is just a good leader, right? If you want to play like a slow control style game. Not to be confused with NL's slow game, right? But this one here is the definition of a wall deck. Looks like people are putting Laboon in. Makes sense. Laboon is such a good card. Like, there's some guys picking up Mihawk at our locals right now. And, dude, Laboon is a menace. This card is it's just disgusting. And protect all of your guys by resting 2 cards? Sure, you're leaving Dawn up anyways. Might as well. Alright, but taking a look at this one, we got 3 Sanji 2Ks, 4 Laboons. I'm going to open it up here. Alright, yeah, so for Searchers, you got 3 Nami, 4 Bonnie, 4 Garp. I play the red Nami personally, but whatever. Potato, tomato. Literally the same card, just different colors. We got 4 Laboons and 3 Sanjis for our 2Ks here, and I think that's it, right? Yeah, because the deck just is 2Ks. Got 4 Usopps, 4 Namis, 4 Sanjis, right, for our Dawn restanding package, as well as we have the 4 Secret Luffys to put on some of that pressure, 2 Brooks to do things. I might experiment with this card. I have like 1 or 2 of them, so 4 Zoros, obviously, because the 7K leader that has an extra bajillion counter seems pretty good. I know your strong is at 2 here, right, because we can search it, so that's why we don't need more, because it is a Straw Hat card, and you can search it with Nami. I think you can search it with Bonnie as well, so you have 7 searches for that card, and then Garp cannot, unfortunately. 4 Charleston, right, insane. It's like, hey, who wants a free 10k counter in a turn? Or no, with this one, it's like, what, 14, I think, is the most you can have? 14 or 16. And then we got 4 Electrical Lunas, so just going all in on the no-touchy, right? Which this card's good into Nami, too, because they have the Robins, right? You can freeze Robins. So pretty decent right there as well. Yeah, that's green, red Luffy if you want to do that. All right, cool. So that is our leader rankings. Just going to scroll over them real quick if you didn't see them earlier. So obviously first Nami, and then we got Ace, NL, and Lucy and the Sky Luffy, making up our top 5 here. And then the next 5 are as follows. You got your green counter decks with Crocodile slowly wiggling his way up into the upper echelons, right? And then down here for the next 10, you have your Bonnie and Teach and decks like that. You're more like rogue options. All right, so now that we're done looking at our meta decks here, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at some of those singles that we tried to predict last week. So one of the big things that we did was take a look at OP15 prices, especially the secret rares. And I said last week, because secret 5-cost Luffy was like $50, right? I said, guys, just wait on this card. I don't think it's worth 50. And I think I also said wait on the other secret Luffy as well. And now check this out. This was last week? Yeah, this was about a week ago. We are already dropped down into the $32 to $34 range. So this card lost almost $20 of value in 1 week. And it's still going, like, it's still trending down, guys, every day. So I think, I don't want to say it's a good time to pick up this card. The card is very good. It is a very good card. Is it this good? Maybe. Okay, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I'm like this saying. I did pick up 4 copies of this card for about 33 each. But do I think that's a great idea? No, not really. You could probably wait on this. If you're not playing a deck that runs it right now, or you're playing a deck that has other options, like if you're playing Nami and you wanted some for Nami, I would probably wait on this, okay? But it is still, I mean, it's going down every week. So there's that one. Let's go ahead and do price high to low real quick, just so we can kind of scroll down here. Skip past the SRs. A lot of the alts here, by the way, holding value, except for this Nami one. I think it went down. Last I saw, this was 120. So yeah, that card is dropping like a stone. The Sky Luffy is also down about 14 bucks, it looks like. Okay, going down here, we got NL Secret dropping down from 50 to about 37, 35, 37, somewhere in there. So NL getting more affordable, especially as people are figuring out that crazy aggro decks aren't that great the longer a meta goes on. Who would have thought? Even if it's NL, right? Like, the only reason NL is still as good as it is because of how insanely pushed the cards are. But I digress. NL is also one of the cheaper alt leaders of the set. So, in fact, I think it is the cheapest. Hold on. I mean, we got Rebecca. I think it's just Rebecca and Krieg, right? Where's Brooke at? I think Brooke was on the other page, no? Yeah, Brooke is more expensive than, like, the meta alt leaders. That's kind of funny. All right. Yeah, so looks like everything else is kind of settling. Or no, Lucy's cheaper. So if you want to play Lucy and get clapped up by pretty much everybody except Nami. All right, the next thing I want to look at was, I think, Zoro. Borsellino here at about $20, right? So starting to even out as well. I still find this interesting. Guys, I don't want to say that this is a good pickup at this price, but, like, okay, here's what I think. If you don't plan on playing yellow until, like, later this year, till, like, next year, right? Like, if you're just done with yellow for a while, I would wait for Borsellino because they're more than likely going to print this in PRB3 this fall. Even though there's been no announcements for it, right? It just makes sense. It's a good SR. It's an EBSR. I think it's going to get reprinted. That being said, if you're going to play yellow now, this is the lowest I think I've seen it, other than when they did the pair ban. And that's when I picked mine up, was the pair ban. This card is just, it's an EB card. It's in a split set, and we all know what happened in 14. So it's going to be expensive. So it's an SR, it's in a split set, and it's EB, and it's in the best deck in the game. A lot of the best decks in the game, right? You playing Sky Luffy, throw some Borsellinos in there. Can't go wrong. You playing Nami, it goes in at 4, right? You can even put this in your, where is it, Bonnie? You can probably put this in Bonnie, realistically. This card is so good. I'm not going to say I think you should buy it at this price, but I'm not going to tell you not to, and I'm not going to frown at you if you do. I think it's just such a good card. It's really hard to say. Zoro here finally starting to dip a little down into the 18 buckaroonie range. So down about $5 from last week. I expect that to keep falling because it's really only in like Roger and Nami, or excuse me, Bonnie. So yeah, I guess you can run it like 1 or 2 in Ace, but I haven't seen any Lucy's run it. Like I just don't think that this is in enough decks that it'll keep holding value. And then moving on here, Our secret Luffy is now down to, I think that's 14 bucks. Yeah, 14 bucks when we add in some change, 14, 15. So that one also coming down a little bit, but this card I feel like is going to settle around 10. I think that's what's going to happen. So, Mamaragans are at $8 almost, it looks like. Okay, $7 or $8 for an SR. Kind of crazy, but I mean, can you blame them? The card's pretty good. So, yeah, another thing that I find really interesting is these special Dawn sets are like really cheap. So like the NL one is about $5 or $6, it looks like. Yeah, so this one's about $5 or $6, and the map one's like $2. Guys, I have been a huge advocate for Dawn investing, or not investing. I don't want to sound like a scalper, but I love Dawn because Dawn is like one of the easiest things to customize that everybody will see every game. And these Dawns are some of the cheapest I've seen from a double pack in like a while. So I would consider picking these up, which to me is crazy because if we go back to page 1 here real quick, okay, keep in mind these prices, right? These come out of you get one or the other out of one double pack, right? So you get a double pack, it gives you 2 packs and 1 Dawn pack. Look how much, maybe it's on the second page. Look how much a double pack is. 24 bucks? 25 bucks for 2 booster packs and a Dawn? Guys, why are we paying so much for sealed product? That's 2 booster packs and a Dawn pack. And the most you're getting for your Dawn is $5.50. So you're telling me 2 packs of this set are worth $18 to you. And that's if you pull the good Dawn. If you don't, you're saying, I will buy 2 booster packs. 2 booster packs. Loose. For $23. No. No, guys. No. We gotta wise up. This is crazy. And if we go back to the seal, this is another thing I wanted to bring up actually. So look at the seal. So we go to, yeah, so a booster box is $222 right now and change. Probably 230. Right? So $230 for a booster box. But a case is $2,700. This guy's doing $2,600. Guys, why? What is there to pull out of this set? Look at the value. Where's the value? Okay, we got 1 NL for $1,100 and some change. We got the other manga, which, by the way, yeah, crazy. You're not guaranteed a manga in a box or a case, right? But if you get a case, you have like, I think it's like 1 in 3-ish. But you could just pull this Kobe and only get $790. And look, it's not even selling at that. It's selling at like $750. Which, I mean, that's a lot for a card, but you know what else is $750? Silver Teach, an SP from OP12, one of the, like, cheapest sets. And there's still a manga and a gold from that set. Like, this is not great value here. And it's probably a coin flip between these two out of the chance that you even get a manga from your case. And look, if we go with the SPs, okay, we got 404 for Zeus, makes sense. About, 400-ish for Luffy. We got a $300 Boa, and then, dude, at that point, you might as well just buy a double pack case or a box. Because, Newgate pays back a box just about. Law's pretty close. Sabo's 150 NL, and then Smoker. And now, look at this, dude. I mean, there's only a couple cards that are even selling for 100. Yeah, I mean, look, this one right here, this is what, Mix Sabo? Or no, this is the Dawn Attached Sabo. Look at this, like, the cards out of this set, if it's not an SP or like a manga event or something, unless it's this Luffy, you're not even getting $100 for your alts, like, and these are the good alts, guys. These are good alts. Like, look at this. Look how many alts are, like, sub 50. A lot. Like, leaders, dude. Look at this. There's not a lot of value in these boxes. Not really. I mean, it's still, like, kind of high because it's new set hype, but still, this is insane. I would not encourage, look at that, the market price just went up again. I would not encourage buying any sealed product right now. Like, and I am a huge, like, I'm always, like, cracking packs at the end of my videos if I can, stuff like that. Bro, just buy your singles. Like, this set has a ton of playable cards. Out of any set, this would be one of the ones, I don't know why I bought 14, honestly. But this one has so many playable cards. I wanted to buy a case for this one more than I think any set ever, other than OP9, which I did. And I just bought singles. As much as I want to crack packs, right? as much as I want a lot of these really good cards, guys, it is not worth it. Look at these prices. Yikes. Anyways, that's enough griping about that. Now let's go ahead. No, my salsa's leaking everywhere. Let me go ahead and switch over to the sim here and let you guys mull over what I have for this deck list here while I eat this taco. But yeah, crazy market right now. Okay, and here is the tragedy, or not tragedy, but here is the abomination that I have seen going around and kind of concocted my own version of. In fact, now that I look at this, could probably go with Frankie here. Nah, I do like Raging more. Alright. Alright, guys, so this is the, what does it say? Hold on. Nope, 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 nope. Okay, it's just being goofy. Alright, this is one of the decks that I've seen going around. So you might be wondering why there's so many copies of a card on this page here. Well, that's because, and don't mind the names, it's wrong names because of the sim. Biscuit Warrior NL. So the cool thing about NL, right, is it has literally no restrictions on its leader ability. So, 5 life, right? Under the rules of the game, your Dawn deck is 6, and then activate main. If it's your second turn or later, add up to 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck and set it as active. Then add up to 4 extra, excuse me, and rest them, and then give 4 rested Dawn cards to one of your characters. So, yeah, nothing about this is restrictive at all. And because of that, we can play a kind of version of this here. And this probably isn't even close to, like, the right list, right? But we can run the Cracker and Biscuit Soldier combo. So Charlotte Cracker, OP08 card. It's a common. Dawn -1, activate main. Play up to 1 Biscuit Warrior from your hand. And Biscuit Warrior says, per the rules, you can have any number of this card in your deck, right? And so something about the this is like the Impel Down 2K that's coming out in OP16, if you guys have seen that. But this is a blocker as well. And it's a 1K counter. So what the idea was here, I saw this on the internet, I thought it was really cool, is you run NL, but you just play a bunch of Biscuit Warriors, and then the rest of your cards either find the Biscuit Warriors. I'm running Reiju here, but honestly, guys, you probably just play like another one of the 1-drops, and you just search for it, because these are already blockers. You know what? Yeah. I'm going to run Ohm, I think, because Ohm is like probably the other good 1-drop. Yeah. So we have Charlotte Pudding here to help search. Look at the top 5. Get up to 1 cost 2 or greater Big Mom Pirate. You're more than likely never going to whiff off this card, right? Because you have 20 targets with your Biscuit Warriors and your Crackers. You also have 4 NLs here. I don't know if you even need this one realistically. But I put it in because it can help you find the Cracker. And, I mean, it's just a good card for the deck. Yeah, we got Ohms to help draw, Satori's to help draw and filter, Crackers at 4, obviously, Biscuit Warrior at 14, I believe I have this card at right now, and then we got 4 Elthor, 4 Lightning Beast 10, 4 Dragon, and 4 Mamaragan. We realistically don't even need Dragon, now that I think about it, because it's a brick, but I mean, it's just such good utility that I figured you could keep it. So this is, yeah, Purple Biscuit, OP15. I think this deck is pretty good. I'm not going to run any games with it, I just wanted to show it to you guys and see what you thought. Let me eat this taco here real quick, though. Sorry if I seem all over the place, by the way. I just have a lot going through my head right now. Kind of a busy week so far. I know. How busy can it be? You're a streamer. Or you're a YouTuber or whatever. But yep, this is the tragedy that I saw online, and I think it's pretty good actually. It's like, all jokes aside, this is honestly not a terrible strategy. All right, now I'm going to take a look at Red, Yellow, Sabo, just to show you guys. This is what I was running, I think, the other day. So let me just make sure. Yeah, so this is the list I was running the other day at locals. Let me show you guys what I would change moving forward. So the deck, I think the deck performs pretty well. It's a little bit more aggressive now that we have the Zoro here, and we lost stuff like Round Table. So we go for a little bit less of the control aspect. But we can still very much do what we were trying to do earlier before rotation with a lot of these cards. So I'm going to cut the Basil Hawkinses here. And we're going to go in with the... Hold on. I want to try out this new Fire Fist card. So I have one already. But yeah, this card right here seems kind of like the Round Table replacement. Because it makes up for you only using 4 Dawn by giving your leader plus 3k on that same turn. And it gives your opponents minus 8k power. Then you can choose to trash 2k with 0 power. You don't really need to do that, but the minus 8 lasts till the end of your opponent's next turn. So it effectively takes out their character for the turn cycle, which seems pretty good in my opinion, right? So there is that one. And then, what was the other thing I wanted to try? There was something else. But yeah, this is one of the decks I think the new Burgess would go in. Oh, they don't have them in here yet. Okay. But yeah, this is pretty much what I would want to try out at locals for the next run. My only thing is I kind of just want to put like more 2Ks in here. Like a little bit more counter. Because we do have a decent number of bricks now. Thanks to this Zoro. That's the only issue I have with this Zoro Caesar brick. Which in this deck kind of matters. Because we have 4 Kikus, 4 Zoros, 4 Geckos, and 2 Fire Fists. So we have, what is that, 14 bricks? Actually, it's not that bad. It's really not. Because we have 3, oh my goodness, excuse me, 3, 7, and then this makes 11. Yeah, okay, we have 11 2K. It's not that bad. But yeah, this is the list that I think I want to try moving forward. I still like Sanji at 2. This card's pretty good as a 3-drop if you need it. Usually you just want to curve out like a 1-drop or 2 and then swing something at leader. But yeah, this works out. I think this is a pretty good cook. Maybe you cut Pagaya for an extra 2K, right? Cut Pagaya down to 1 and you just put in like another Kuma, but it is what it is. I've seen some people running like Zeus and stuff to try and remove characters. I don't think Zeus is good in this deck. You don't need to remove most 5-cost characters. Like, the ones you would be, like, Borsellino blockers. But usually, the way that I get around Borsellino blockers is you just, like, slowly... Like, a deck that would play Borsellino is, like, a longer game deck anyways. And so, against one of those, you're probably just healing up a ton of life anyways. So, you don't really... Like the blocker doesn't really matter. But, yeah, that's the only other thing I would consider is maybe, like, a Borsellino blocker. Or, actually, I saw this card. If you're trying to go for more of a control style game, right, like a longer burn, you can put less triggers in and try out this guy. This card's actually kind of crazy. So 4 cost, 4,000 power, 1k counter, right, so good counter. When attacking, his base power becomes the same as your opponent's leader. That is not the same as your opponent's leader's base power. They're the same as your opponent's leader's power. So this card, if you're playing against Blue Yellow Nami and they use leader effect, is a 4 cost, 7k character. Also, on KO, if you have 2 or less life cards, play a yellow character with 6k power less from your hand. That's crazy. Our whole deck is, oh, Perona, Zoro, Hiyori, Kikunojo, right? Literally our entire deck other than, I think, just these 2 cards, right? Yeah, so you can play out the entire deck other than these 2 cards. Pretty good. But this is great because it works in the red-yellow Bonnie, into red-purple Roger, into Nami, right? Any of those decks that have a high base power leader, this card is cooking into. And then in addition, that makes it really, really efficient to heal to life, right? If you need a good heal in a tough spot, you just swing this at your opponent's leader, and if they use leader ability, okay, well now I can put 1 Dawn on my leader, heal this to the top of my life for free. Seems pretty decent in my opinion. No trigger means that it would be in like a slower version of this deck. I might experiment with putting this in for Sanji. The only issue is that puts this at like a bajillion 4 costs, right? Because you have 4 Kikunojos that you could play, 4 Zoros, 4 Peronas, 4 Hogbacks. So you have 4 Hiyori. Yeah, there's just so many 4-drops. That's why I haven't slotted it in yet. But who knows? Maybe this does go in for like a Hiyori and a Pagaya or something. I kind of want to try it out. But this is my in-person deck, and I don't think I have this card yet. So I need to get some copies before I try it. But yeah, something to look out for is this Sanji here. I think this Sanji's really, really strong. especially in this deck. But anyways, guys, I think that is going to do it for our Taco Bell Tuesday stream today. Thank you so much for dropping by. If you like today's stream, please feel free to drop a like down below. Consider hitting subscribe, right, because it helps me and the channel out a ton, and it's 100% free. And while you're down there, you can hit the notification bell right next to it so that you don't miss when I go live again or I put another post or video on the channel. Hit the curvy arrow button down there, the one that's pointing out like that, so that you can share this stream or the channel in general with your friends so that they can check out what's going on. And then last but not least, you can leave a comment in the comment section down below on this, or you can go to my most recent video as well, or any video, and I will respond. And just let me know what you guys are thinking there, anything you want to see in the future, things like that. But I'm going to go ahead and sign off for today so I can finish my food and then start working on my D&D campaign that I need to flush out for this evening. But yeah, anyways, guys, thank you so much for stopping by, and have a great rest of your day.